Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you the new features, part of the new release published on the July 7th, 2024. The first new feature is the scheduling quick setup. So what is it? Maybe you've tried already our new scheduling module, and if you did, you had to configure it through the scheduling configuration here, and you could define all your booking, change, blackouts, and map them to the different Jira project, issue types, fields, workflows, etc. that you have created yourself. With this new version, we have released a quick setup, and here is how it works. So if you go in your scheduling configuration from the main menu, and you have nothing, so let me disable all what I have configured previously. I save it. So if you arrive on that screen for the first time, you will see that banner, and you need to be Jira administrator in order to click on the quick setup. If you are not Jira administrator, ask someone who is Jira administrator to do it for you. So basically the quick setup works as follows. So you click on the quick setup. You need to define a new Jira project because the quick setup is going to create a new Jira project and prepare it for scheduling your environment. So in my case, I've already tried it before, so that's why that project name is already used. So I'm going to choose EM2, Environment Management 2. So that would be the name of my new Jira project. I click on Next. And here I have the explanation of what Golive is going to do for me. So it's going to create some statuses. If they don't exist already in my configuration, it will create 3 new issue types for booking, change, and blackouts. It will create new custom fields and the related screens, screen schemes, and workflows. If you are not very well familiar with that, discuss with your Jira admin. They should understand. And as soon as you are ready, so you just click on create, and now Golive is going to work in order to create all the needed elements in your Jira configuration. Okay, it's done. So I've just cut the video, but it can take up to 2-3 minutes depending on the responsiveness of the Jira server. If you are on data center, it will also depend on the infrastructure you have for your Jira, but don't don't close the browser in the middle. And here in the end, you will have also the list of elements that have been created. So as it's the second time I executed the quick setup, so there are a lot of things that were not created. If you want more information than the created object, I will show you how you can access to the logs. But for the time being, I just click on Start Scheduling, and it will show me the new Jira project that has been created just for the scheduling. That's the new project, Environment Management 2. It has created a new scheduling timeline. So depending on the number of times you executed the quick setup, that number here, 3, 4, can increase. And here I'm ready to start scheduling my environments. So if I want to schedule a booking, I just drag and drop on the environment I would like to book. For instance, here, e-commerce integration 1. And it proposed me to create like a new Jira ticket. So let's say that would be my business demo. I can define if I want the exclusivity on the environment. Let's say that I want it, yes. And the ticket has been created. And the scheduling configuration was done in a way that follows the best practices that we gather from all our customers. And if you open the scheduling configuration, now you can see that all has been set up based on the new project. So it's using the new issue types that were created for that specific Jira project. The fields are already mapped. Of course, you can update that configuration if it makes sense for your use case, but that's a very good start. Instead of starting from scratch, you have all that is already configured. If you don't want the auto approval, you want a manual approval, so you can just change that here. Also for auto booking of dependencies, you can decide if you want to enable or disable. So feel free to refer to our Configure Jira for Scheduling page that explains all what has been done. And then if you go here in the scheduling configuration, it explains all the different options that you have to configure the scheduling. So I let you have a look, and yeah, feel free to raise any ticket if something is not clear to you. So if I go back, and here also you have the logs. So I told you if you need more logs, you have here the quick setup logs in the end, where you can have the details of all objects that were created or reused for the setup on your Jira instance. So if you have some questions or you want that we help you troubleshoot on something, please copy us that log so that it can help us do the troubleshooting. That was for the first element from our release note. That was the scheduling quick setup. Next one is the new single select attributes. So that's a feature that has been asked by customers for quite a long time now. Basically, it's when you open the environment list, for instance, that one. So that's a list where I have some information, and here, for instance, I have Tom, which is a free text field. Maybe I want to add the country here. So for the country column, what I did, I didn't do it perfect, so we'll do it together. So let's say that maybe there are some people that enter some wrong stuff here. Someone had it Swiss instead of Switzerland in the country, and you really would like people to avoid, you want to avoid people doing mistakes. So what you can do in that case, you could convert your environment attributes. Let me first save that view. You go under environment attributes. Here you can search for your attribute, country, and you see it's currently the type is markdown. So if I double click on it, or you can click also on the pencil here, you can edit the attribute type. And we have three different types: markdown, which is the standard one that you know already with the WYSIWYG editor. You have the secured attributes. Before it was a tick, now it became like a attribute type, but I think you know it already because it was part of the previous versions. And the new one is the single select. So if you want a single select, you can define some options. For instance, Switzerland, France, Italy, UK, etc. And then you save your configuration. So this is not going to erase the configuration that were already defined in your fields, but it will prevent updating the country here with wrong information. So if I click here, I see that now I have a list. Switzerland is already selected because it corresponds. India is not in the list, so either I should add it to the list or choose another one. For instance, France. And again, here Switzerland, so I want people to call it not Swiss, but Switzerland, and I can just make the updates like that. So this will really help you people choose the right information in the different attributes, and you can really restrict to the list. And of course, as soon as you want to update the list, you do the same. You go back to your environment attributes here. As you can see here, I have the types. Here I see the available options, and to edit it, I just go here and I can add a new option. So that's how works our new single select attribute. You have also this single select attributes for deployment attributes. Those are the attributes that are linked to your deployments, not your environments, and you can find them in the application screen here under deployment attributes. It's exactly the same. So if I want maybe to restrict the owner to some values, I can update it like that. Maybe I have only David, Roger, Magnus, Julian, and then I will be able to select only those attributes when updating a deployment in an environment. That's how it works. That was the second one. Next one, the create calendar revamp. So that one came also from some of our customers that were a bit lost when creating new calendars, because it was not very easy to make the distinction. Let me open like the scheduling time. It was not easy to make the distinctions between creating a new calendar and reusing an existing calendar. Now we have updated that. So when you click on add calendar, instead of having the new calendar that you can create in the end of that list, we have added this create new calendar entry. If you click on it, then you have the list of all calendars that can be created. So for instance, it's clear. It's also a small explanation in what the calendar does. If I want to create, for instance, status change logs calendar, I just click on it and then I'm able to give it a name. Maybe I want to call it status logs, and then it's exactly the same. I save it and then I see it appear here. And then of course I can reuse it. So if I share it on other timelines, I will be able to see it in the list. And otherwise, if you want to create some additional calendars, you just click here and you have this new window. That's all for the create calendar revamp. Then the get started improvements. So we continue to work on the get started improvement for new users, but also existing users to make sure they configure Golive correctly. And you can always find the get started page from the settings menu here in the end, get started. And what we did in that release, we added a new introduction video where I explain the key concepts from Golive. So that video is going to evolve also over time. As soon as we have some new important concept, we are going to re-record the video so that we make sure you have a good understanding of the key concept before starting implementing the different features. And for the next one, so I mean, you know how it works. You have the different steps that are either mandatory for the environment inventory or not necessarily mandatory for the environment tracking, scheduling, etc. What you can do for each of the steps is to click do the operation. So in that case, I should add my my applications, come back to the get started, and as soon as it's done, you can tick the box here, and we remember which one are ticked, which ones are unticked. So it will help you. It will help to track your progress for the configuration of the app. We have also added something new, and that's very important to mention, is the enable Golive in your Jira project. So it was not clear for some new users why Golive was enabled in all the Jira projects of their instance. So we changed that behavior. Now the Golive pages are disabled by default. And after you set up your application, when you are in step 6, then we drive you through the global settings, the Jira project, where you can define here if you want to show project page by default and show environment issue panel by default. So now the default is unticked. So it will be like that for the new Jira instance. You can also do it on your own Jira instance if you want to deactivate that, so that when new projects are created, the Golive page does not appear directly. So that's something new. What we did as well, it's not in the release note. But what we did is when you are in the Go Live settings in a project page, for instance here, so project, create project, so now by default, I don't get the Go Live project page activated. I can do it from the project settings or from the Go Live main settings. So if I go under apps here, Go Live settings, I can enable it. So let me show the Go Live project page and the environment issue panel. And if I go back to the page, I think you need to anyway refresh the page to see it. So that's what the people would see if you enable also by default. The first time on a new project, when people arrive on the Apwide Golive page, we have also improved that. So here we explain that the applications in Go Live are cross-project, but you need to map the applications that are relevant to the Jira project. So for instance, if in my new Jira project, I want to map, I don't know, my e-commerce application as well as my ERP application, I can select them here. And I have also the possibility to pin the views that I'm interested in. So if I want to see the timeline that we have just created, scheduling timeline, I can save that. And so the pin views will be displayed here for all the users that are going to open Go Live in that project. They will be able to quickly find the pin views. And as in the views, you can use, okay, no, here anyway, we display all the environments, but for some other views, for instance, let me show you, maybe the environment list. So that's a view that is using the current project, which means that if I decide to put that view also in my pin views, I can do it also from that page. Now it's here. And as it's a view that is using the current project, so it will also restrict my list of visible environments based on the project I'm currently in. So because I'm in my new project that is MNP, so automatically my environment will be restricted to only the environment that are linked to the applications that are linked to my Jira project. So in my case, e-commerce and ERP. That's how it works. I hope it's clear. What else? Yeah, then we have also small improvements. I'm not going to cover them in details, but if you have questions, feel free to raise tickets on our support portal, and we'll be happy to give you some additional information. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.